more people should know about This Is My Brave, because I think transparency and sharing experiences is really such a big part of healing. And the more everyone sees, that everybody's experience is kind of on the spectrum. We all have these types of challenges, and I think the more we talk about them, the less alone everybody feels, and the more we can be there for each other.
I was just blown away by the level, the quality. I love the diversity. I love seeing everyone on stage. I believe so strongly in the power of shared experiences and storytelling. Having a mother and son talk about kind of life experiences in different ways and how they were connected. Having older individuals come up, the different experiences they've had and how they've changed them. So I felt like I got a lot of wisdom from some of those folks as well.
My biggest takeaway from tonight's This Is My Brave show here in Los Angeles was that mental illness affects everybody. It does not discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a housewife, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're homeless. It doesn't matter. Mental illness affects everybody, and it can be debilitating.
You can't write it. You can't, just the human stuff that comes through is so beautiful. And it's also wonderful to see that it can be shared in such a raw way, and that there's a whole community here that's, ready to be here for them.
Say and let the words fall out.
Honestly, I wanna see you be brave
With what you wanna say and let the words fall out.
Honestly, I wanna see you be brave.
I just wanna see you. I just wanna see you. Just wanna see you.
I wanna see you be brave.
I just wanna see
Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave.
I am so thrilled to be here tonight to witness these storytellers take the stage. You know, I first shared my story many years ago. I myself live with type 1 bipolar disorder, was diagnosed at the age of 26 after 2 manic episodes that happened back to back in 1 month, and each required psychiatric hospitalization. What followed was a very long year of a severe clinical depression, at the end of which I wondered if life was worth living at all, and I dealt with suicidal thoughts. I was very lucky that I received very good care and I had a very good support system around me, and I was able to find a medication that worked for me. And had a year of stability, and then decided I wanted to become a mom and my husband and I started our family. The years I was having my children, unfortunately, went through 2 more psychiatric hospitalizations, taken to the hospital in handcuffs by police officers. So when I got through those 4 times in the hospital over 5 years, I looked back on everything I had been through and said to myself, you know what, you didn't go through that hell for nothing. There's got to be a purpose for the pain. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted to do something that was going to make a difference. And what made a difference for me was that I looked to find stories. I was in that moment of desperation of thinking, like, how am I ever going to live with this lifelong condition that has no cure? How am I going to learn to live with it? And so I turned to the internet, and I found stories from people who were blogging about their conditions. And they were writing so honestly and openly that they inspired me. So I started my own blog, which I called Bipolar Mom Life. And I wrote about being a mom and managing my condition. But I wrote anonymously because I was afraid of being judged. People close to me said there's too much discrimination out there, there's too much stigma, just write anonymously. So I did. But then I was recognized by an editor. The parenting book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, has a mom blog section, and they said, we love your writing and we want you to write for us, and we're gonna pay you. So I said, great. And I started writing, and I made the decision to open up and write with my real name. And the first story they published, they put on the homepage of AOL, and they used the title, What Landed Mom in the Psych Ward? Got a lot of views, and the exact opposite of what I feared would happen happened. I received this tremendous outpouring of support. So many people wrote me to say, thank you for sharing your story and for being brave. You know, and then they would turn around and tell me their story. So I knew that I was onto something, and it would be a matter of about 5 months later when I met the woman who would become my co-founder, Anne-Marie Ames, at a party. And she turned to me and took one look and said, you're bipolar mom. And I looked at her and I said, yeah, most people call me Jen. But I had just recently gone public with my story, and she read my blog. So I felt like a mini celebrity in my town. And we spent the entire night at that party talking about our mutual passion for ending the stigma. And I told her, I have this project I want to launch. Will you help me? And she said yes. And like 3 months later, we launched the project on Kickstarter, and we needed $6,500 to do our first show. And we ended up raising over $10,000 in 31 days because people saw the need for what we were doing. We put our first show on in 2014, and I had a woman who came up to me in the lobby after that show, and she said, Jen, I drove all the way from Philly to see your show because I found your blog in my darkest moment, and your writing saved my life. And that was the proof that I needed to know that this show was making a difference. So we have now gone on, this is our 5th full year. Tonight, the show is our 47th show that we've done across the US. Thank you. And we're so incredibly proud of these storytellers because, yes, Anne-Marie and I may have created this, but these people are who make it what it is today. We tragically lost Anne-Marie last summer when she passed away from a heart attack. But what keeps me going in her memory is the people and the stories. And you are in for a treat tonight. You're going to laugh and cry, but you're going to be so moved and I hope changed from what you hear tonight. So please help me give a warm welcome to our incredible producer who brought This Is My Brave to San Pedro, Rudy Caseres.
Hey everyone, I'm Rudy Caseres. Who came here for me? Oh wow, that is awesome. Welcome to This Is My Brave Los Angeles. I'm Rudy Caseres, you already know that. Before I get into my little spiel, I want to make sure that first and foremost, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Our 2018 season of shows wouldn't be possible without the support of Alchemies, Synovian, and Sage Therapeutics. So give a round of applause for them. We also have our fabulous local sponsors, Stars Behavioral Health Group, and we'd also like to thank the Renfrew Center. And I'd also like to thank our photographer, Kozushi, and our videographer, Moving Images Company. Give them a round of applause, too. Your generous support of our mission is so greatly appreciated. Thank you. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Everyone should have received a program when you checked in or enter the theater. Inside, you'll find info on all our cast members and sponsors, so please pick one if you haven't received one. Oh, also, I want to make sure to give a shout out to our live captioners, Joanne and Ryan. I really appreciate you bringing accessibility to this show. If everyone could now please take out your cell phone. We're a very social organization, having received our start thanks to a successful Kickstarter campaign back in 2013, and we want you to take lots of pictures, selfies, even video clips, and share these on your social networks with the hashtag #LiveBrave or Storytelling Saves Lives. What you're about to experience defines what it means to live brave. And we need your help to tell the world we're here, and they can learn what it means to live brave too. So share away. Don't be shy. Our volunteers will do their best to retweet and regram as many posts to help extend our reach. All right, thank you for your help. Now would be a good time to make sure to turn your phone to silent for the duration of the show. Since This Is My Brave is a storytelling organization, I thought it would make sense to tell you the story of how I learned about This Is My Brave and my reasons for getting involved. I get to put the script away, isn't that nice? So, a year and a half ago, January 21st, 2017, I was a cast member of This Is My Brave Los Angeles. I was actually wearing this exact same outfit, this exact same coat, and it was an amazing experience. I remember it being the most rainy day ever. It was just pouring buckets, and I got to the theater so early, just so pumped and wanting to do this because, yeah, I had shared my story before many times, but something about being on a stage like this in a theater, it really, really rekindled something in me. I have a background in theater, so I love this. And speaking in front of a classroom or a hospital, it has its meaning, but being in front of all y'all and getting to really express myself in a way that I miss so much. The last play that I ever did was back in 2014. I was actually hospitalized in the middle of rehearsal, I had a catatonic episode, and then put in restraints and taken to the emergency room and then to a psych ward. And after that, I thought, I'm never going to be able to be on stage again. I'll never be able to entertain again because my life is too miserable, too depressing, and too chaotic for anyone to take me seriously, let alone cast me in another show. So I ventured off into the world and sharing my story with different mental health organizations. But one organization that I had my eye on from almost the very beginning when I first started sharing my story in 2014 was This Is My Brave. And I came so close to being in a show, and I found out back in November 2015 that it was already precast, but I came to the show anyway, and I looked up on stage, and I saw the performers, and I was in awe. It was an amazing thing, and I kept saying to myself, I'm going to be in a This Is My Brave show someday. So I connected with Jennifer Marshall, and we kept crossing paths. She's been definitely one of my top 3 biggest supporters, and I'm so much in debt to her for all the opportunities she's given me. She's been able to give me work public speaking outside of This Is My Brave as part of This Is My Brave Speakers Bureau, and promoted me on social media, made me the host of Brave Chat Live, which you can watch every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, on the This Is My Brave Facebook page. So all that told, I still wanted to be a storyteller, a cast member of This Is My Brave, and I got to realize that dream back in 2017, last year. And I went on to do my own events, my own storytelling events, and those were all great. But when I got the call from Jennifer to do my own This Is My Brave show, at first I thought, no, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. This is way too much. This is too much of an undertaking. But I took a couple of days, and I called her back and let her know, I got to do this. It's going to be the hardest thing that I've ever done before in my life, and it has been. It's been very, very trying, but here I am, and I'm going to bring on the cast, and they're going to see how hard we have worked throughout the past few months. And it's been hard work, but it is worth it. It's worth it that we get to this point where we get to put on a show. But if you read the program, my producer's note is that this is not just for us. This is about sparking a conversation. So I don't want this to be an experience where you come here, you see a show, you eat your popcorn, and then you walk away. This is the start of a movement. Please, 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 do not ever forget this night. I guarantee by the end of this night, you'll never forget anything that you've seen on stage. So that's my spiel. And I want to make sure that I bring on the cast of This Is My Brave Los Angeles.